All right. So did anybody have time or get a chance to work on student application over break? If you didn't, it's okay. But we are going to make up some of that time. So you guys will be working for 20 minutes today on the student application. And just some reminders. Make sure that you're staying active on the application, because if you're just sitting there, it's not going to count the time. And then participation or student application is entered every time you guys have class. So you guys need to have at least 15 minutes completed to earn your points for the day. So that's just a reminder. Um, is everybody? I know Ben is logged in. What about everyone else? Did you guys log in yet? Remember, you're using your district login and not your student ID number anymore. Thumbs up when you're logged in, please. Are you using the right login, Aiden? Did you do it from our Canvas page or the portal? Remember that I did tell you that before break that Wednesday will be your vocabulary test. So we're going to do some practice today with the Kahoot. How many of you were able to look over your words, or how many of you did some studying over break? Well, if you didn't, you need to do it. You have today and tomorrow, and then Wednesday is your test. So we're going to do some practice test right now. So while I pull that up, you guys can get ready to do Kahoot. Purpose of this is to see what you need to focus on, which words you know, which words you don't know. You should know all of them, but this is for you. So I need you guys to make sure that you're paying attention to the words that you really need to focus on, because this is a test that should be fairly easy to pass. We've been looking at these words for quite a while. So I want you guys to be responsible enough to, recognize the words you need to work on and the ones you don't. All right. So the game pin's going to pop up, and then you guys can go ahead and get started. Are going to move on to our summarize lesson, but before that, we're going to do a little brain break. If you have to use the restroom or if you want to get a drink of water real quick, we could do a 2-minute break. So at 3:20, we will start our summarizing lesson, okay? Today, we are going to talk about what makes a good summary, and then learn how to summarize a text by describing the most important details. So that's what we're going to look at today. So let's start with what's in the box at the top, summarizing. When you summarize a text, you briefly describe the most important ideas in your own words, okay? So a summary is kind of like a trailer for a movie. When you watch a trailer, it doesn't give you every little piece of the movie, does it? Or it just gives you some important details that are going to catch your interest or catch your attention, right? Do you guys agree? A trailer doesn't give you all of the information about the movie. It just gives you a little bit about it. So that's kind of like how I like to think of a summary. The only thing is a summary is a short, like a short, paragraph or a couple sentences that'll sum up what it's mostly about, what that text is. So some things that we have to remember is a summary starts by stating the most important idea, or it starts with stating the central idea, okay, what the text is mostly about. It's not going to go all around and not give you what it's about first. Like, that is the main reason why you're writing this summary or you're reading this summary, to find out what it's mostly about, okay? So it's always going to include that. It's always going to start with the central idea. So always look at the beginning, kind of like how we identify main idea and detail. In a summary, you're going to look towards the beginning of the text. That's how it starts, of the summary. Then you need to look for the most important or relevant details. So things are going to be that are going to be relevant. You're not going to include, unimportant details, something that the reader can read in the story, right? And it also has to go in order. When you think about a trailer, it doesn't start with what happens at the end of the movie. That they don't start the trailer off like that. They put things in order. And it does not include judgment, so you're not giving a yeah, we're just gonna work on it. We're gonna work on it together. So you guys can just pay attention to my screen and we'll work through this together. So you're not gonna give your judgment on or an opinion. I think this informational text is interesting because you're not doing this. This is just straight facts. This is what's from the story. Okay. And then it finishes with a final thought-provoking detail. All right. So this here is a summary from the Street Smarts text that we read before at the beginning of our workshop. So it says, read the summary of Street Smarts below. Identify and mark each element of the summary. So we're going to underline the central idea. We're going to put a check mark next to 4 relevant details that support the main or support the central idea. And then we're going to write a star next to the final thought-provoking detail. Okay, so we have 3 tasks that we need to do to complete this activity. All right, so I'm going to read through this first. Okay, and then we'll start with underlining the central idea. So your active reading and listening task right now is following along with me. Okay, so your eyes should be on the screen. Okay, and this is your warning. If you are off task, you will lose your points for today. Okay, that goes for anybody who is off task. If you're not following along, then you will lose your points. Okay. After being rescued from the streets, Kes Valdez formed an organization to help protect the homeless kids from the dangers of street life. Kes ran away from his abusive family when he was 4 and lived in a garbage dump. After being badly burned, he was rescued by a social worker who adopted him. Kes decided to help other street kids, so he founded Championing Community Children. This charity has helped more than 10,000 homeless children in the Philippines by teaching them about hygiene and providing clothes and toiletries. Kes won the International Peace Prize in 2012 for his work. So the first thing we need to do is to underline the central idea. Now, where should we look for the central idea? What area in the summary do we need to look for the central idea? Our mini lesson already told us at the beginning. Let's see what you guys remember. Quinn, just tell me where, at the beginning, the middle, or the end. Where is the central idea? Where is the most important part of this sentence?
The middle?
Not the middle.
I mean, first.
So if we go back up here, it says a summary starts by stating the central idea or what the text is mostly about. So where do we need to look for the central idea?
The first sentence?
Yes, the beginning. It starts, the summary starts. That's our clue. Yes, the beginning. So after being rescued from the streets, Kes Valdez formed an organization to help protect other homeless kids from the dangers of street life. Now, we've already read the passages, right? It's been a while, but we did read them. Wouldn't you guys say that this first sentence sums up what we read? Those, I think it was 4 pages actually. Doesn't this sum up that first sentence? Doesn't that sum up everything we read without going detail to detail? After being rescued from the streets, Kes Valdez formed an organization to help protect other homeless kids from the dangers of street life. Thumbs up or thumbs down? Do you guys think? We've already read this. Do you guys think that this sums up? Do you guys think this is the main idea of what we've read in those on those 4 pages? Thumbs up or thumbs down? I need you guys to respond, please. Why is Quentin the only person that I'm seeing responding? Yes. We read about him being rescued, right? We read about him being adopted. We read about him forming an organization. You guys remember that from the story? Okay. So I'm going to underline this sentence. Okay, so that's our first task. Now we have to put a check mark next to 4 relevant details that support the central idea. So now we're going to look for details that tell us more about him being rescued and him starting an organization and him helping homeless kids. Okay, that's what details do. They tell us more, they describe, and they give evidence for why this statement is true. So, Quentin, can you read this first sentence? Well, the next sentence after what we just underlined. His name is Kez.
Kaz ran away from his abusive family when he was 4. He lived in a garbage dump. After
Wait,
being badly burned.
wait. Just this one sentence. Listen carefully. So Kez ran away from his abusive family when he was 4 and lived in a garbage dump. So thumbs up if you guys think that's a relevant detail, or thumbs down if you don't think that's a relevant detail. Okay. Aaliyah and Ben, I need to see you guys respond. Thumbs up if you think this is a relevant detail, or thumbs down if you don't think it's relevant. Okay. So it is relevant because what is it telling? What is it giving us more information about? Aaliyah?
How he was living before he got rescued.
Right. And the beginning of our main idea sentence says, after being rescued. This sentence here, Aiden, tells us more about him being rescued, does it not? Okay. Kez ran away from his abusive family. So that is what we need to check. There's one detail. I'll put it over here. Okay. Aaliyah, read the next sentence starting with after being badly burned.
After being badly burned, he was rescued by a social worker who adopted him.
Okay, thumbs up or thumbs down? Thumbs up, this is a relevant detail. Thumbs up, it's not important. What do you think, Aaliyah? Thumbs up or thumbs down? It's relevant. It's giving us more. Remember, details tell us more. They give us more information. So this is something that we should know. So I'm gonna put a check here. That's our second detail. Aiden, read the next sentence. We can't hear you.
Kids started to help other street kids, so he founded Champion Company Children,
Community.
Community Children.
Okay, so Kez decided to help other street kids, so he founded Championing Community Children. Thumbs up if you think that's a detail, if that's an important detail. Thumbs down if you think it's unimportant. Ben and Aaliyah, I need you guys to respond. This is not for me, this is for you. So if you're just sitting there not responding, you're not gonna understand how to do this. It is, why do you think this is relevant, Quentin? Why is this a relevant detail?
Because he started the company and help the kids.
And what is it telling us more about? What is it telling us more about?
Him helping people.
Which we read in the first sentence. Kez Valdez formed an organization. Doesn't this sentence tell us what kind of organization it is?
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys have to make those connections, okay? Aiden, Aaliyah, Ben, you guys have to make those connections. We've already underlined what the central idea is. Now we have to find what tells us more about it. So this sentence tells us more. So I'm going to check this next sentence. All right, Ben, you're going to read the next sentence starting with this charity.
Wait,
This charity has helped.
this charity has helped more than 1,000 homeless children in the
10,000.
10,000. This charity has helped more than 10,000 homeless children in the
Philippines.
in the Philippines by teaching them about
Hygiene.
hygiene and
Providing
providing
clothes and toiletries. Finish the sentence.
clothes and toiletries.
Okay. What do you guys think? Is this important? Is this an important detail? Why is this important, Aiden?
It's important because it helped more than 10,000 homeless children, and they're providing clothes and toiletries.
Why is this detail important though? Why do we need to put a check mark? What is it telling us more about?
That it's trying to help the homeless kids.
And we read that in this sentence. You guys always need to refer back to this. This detail is relevant because it explains what our main idea said. Okay, you guys, I'm not looking for you to guess. Good, Aaliyah, because it helps show what he does in his organization. Good. You guys always, these details support this. So I'm not asking you to pull an answer out of the air. I'm asking you to make the connection. This is relevant because it explains our main idea. These details are relevant because they tell more about our main idea. They give us more info about our main idea. Okay, do you guys see that connection? We're not just checking it just because. They're telling us more about, right? Like if you're looking at a game, right? Or if you didn't catch the game and you're getting the highlights, the main idea is your favorite sports team won. The stats, all of that are details to help support why your team won. So you guys need to make connections. Okay, it's not enough just to read a passage. You have to make the connection. This is important because it supports this. It tells me more about this. All right. So now the last thing we have to do is put a star next to the final thought-provoking detail. So what will be the last, what will we put our star at? Which sentence? Which sentence is the final thought-provoking detail? Good, Aaliyah. What do you think, Quentin?
That he won the Peace Prize.
Yes, that is our final thought-provoking detail. That's a detail, but it's showing us that all of this work that he did won him a prize for his work. Okay, so I don't know if I can do a star on here, maybe. I don't see one. Okay, so this is what we will put our star at. I can scribble one real quick. All right, this will not be the last time you guys see summarizing. You might see it on your student application. You should see some questions relating to that. So it's important that you guys remember to state the main idea and then the details that help support the main idea. All right. We have about 20 minutes left. So you guys will be doing independent reading. You can read a book that you already have, like a library book. If you have one, you need to show it to me right now so I can see what you're going to be working on. Or you can use your independent reading book from our website. So if you already have a book picked out that you want to read for the last 20 minutes or 15 minutes. So is anybody reading a library book? You might have to read a library book, Aiden, because you can't get onto your student application. So do you have a library book? You don't have a book from the Media Center? Well, you can try to see if you can log into the Read 180 website. What about you, Aaliyah and Quentin? And Ben, do you guys?
I try to get logged in.
Huh?
When I try to get logged in.
You said you are going to try to get logged in?
Yes.